The following is an AI-based parody created for satire and entertainment purposes. All voices, conversations, and scenarios are artificially generated and do not represent the opinions, actions, or voices of any individuals represented. This content is not meant to confuse or misinform.
All right, we're on to ranking the Mass Effect 3 squad mates as they perform in gameplay. First on the list is James Vega, who slots in as the team's Krogan squad mate. He's a meat shield.
I don't have any problems with Vega, but he'll never replace Grunt or Rex.
James can prime enemies with his incendiary ammo and cause explosions with carnage. However, this isn't easily repeatable due to the long cooldowns, which are made worse by his fortification.
Most of James's powers are passive anyway, so you'd really only be waiting on carnage.
The real use for James is the squad bonus he provides through his class passive, which will increase squad mate health and shields by 20%.
James is tough and all, but he isn't the most useful squad mate in the game. Most of the other members of the team come equipped with far better powers like Overload, Warp, Reave, and Incinerate.
James is also one of the 3 squad mates in the main game with a grenade power, which can target shields or armor based on how you choose to evolve it. Also, just in general, grenades are good at taking out clusters of enemies.
James has a lot of tankiness and raw damage, but I think he lacks the utility to go high on the list.
You can still strap an N7 Typhoon on him and make him goated.
That's something that applies to every squad mate that can equip an assault rifle. I think James best fits into B tier. He's useful, but overshadowed by some of the characters who come up next. We're back to Liara, who is actually among the squishier squad mates this time around. Her barrier health is all right, but her health is low.
She's also lacking in firepower, but Singularity is perfect for setting up biotic combos, and Stasis is clutch as always.
I do love telling her to just remove people from the game.
Liara can set up her own combos thanks to the duration of her powers and the speed they recharge. She's able to handle anything as long as you keep her out of direct fire.
And speaking of cooldowns, her squad bonus evolution will increase the recharge speed of all squad mate biotic powers by 10%.
A perfect power for charging and using Nova more. She's my pick just off that.
Liara is more useful than James overall thanks to her ability to prime power combos and detonate them on her own. Stasis is good crowd control, and her warp ammo is better than incendiary ammo. We'll put her in A tier.
Well, Garrus is next. Put him in S tier.
Now, we could Glaze God mode Garrus here, but let's actually talk about him for a bit.
Garrus does massive damage at range regardless of the gun you give him. His class allows him to increase the damage of his guns, and he can detonate power combos with concussive shot.
He also has Overload, which is maybe the most versatile power in the game because it can damage shields and barriers.
And of course, it goes without saying that if built properly, Garrus can solo the game for you.
We restricted the use of the N7 Typhoon for a reason.
You guys saw how Garrus was moving on priority Earth after all.
Also, his class passive increases squad mate power damage by 10%, so you can get more of an edge.
It should be noted the squad bonus Garrus offers only applies to combat powers, not the biotic and tech ones. So he only boosts powers like Inferno Grenade, Carnage, and Concussive Shot. But yeah, that aside, Garrus is a lock for S tier. And now we're on to EDI.
She is unique in the fact that she is the only squad mate with Incinerate in the base game, and one of 3 to have Overload. EDI has the best tech power damage thanks to her class providing a boost to them.
EDI is always good for stripping enemy defenses, but I find her kind of underwhelming.
Probably because her decoy power is fucking useless.
It's not totally useless. Kai Lang will fall for it.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
EDI is basically a tech version of Liara. She has tech powers that can be used very often, which is great for priming and detonating targets.
I think the problem with EDI is your only real use for her is Incinerate, because Kaidan and Garrus both have Overload and are far more useful outside that.
Tali's the same amount of tech and better damage output with her access to shotguns too.
EDI's class passive will boost squad tech power and duration by 10%, which is great depending on your class. And Defense Matrix can bring that up for EDI personally by 25%, as long as it's active.
Defense Matrix doesn't do much either. I swear EDI dies all the time.
Maybe because you keep positioning her in front of you so you can look at her.
I think we're going to put EDI into C tier. She's clearly got her uses, but once I've got Garrus, Kaidan, and Tali, I feel like she's better off on the Normandy.
Joker would probably appreciate that. What was it EDI said? That having her body in field of view improves his morale?
My boy Joker is just like me for real, for real.
All right, our favorite space Nigerian is up next.
Javik is interesting with pull and slam. He's heavy in the crowd control department, but he can create any of his own combos like Liara can.
Feels like we're looking at another Jack. Bro has no ability to remove shields, barriers, or armor.
That's true, but look at his class bonus. He increases shield recharge speed for the entire party by 20%. That's huge.
Javik's real notable power is Dark Channel, which does damage over time and transfers between enemies when one dies, This can allow you to set up repeated biotic explosions using powers like warp and charge.
Hell yeah, charging between enemies who have been affected by Dark Channel is peak gameplay.
I'm a real big fan of his lift grenade, which will lift unprotected enemies into the air, opening them up to an explosive combo.
The lift grenade also does 1.5 times damage to barrier health, so Javik does have a little something to work with there. I like Javik. He brings some good options in the game in his ability to prime targets, and even if he can't remove enemy defenses, he can just shoot his gun. We'll slide him into B tier.
All right, Ashley is back, and this time I won't stand for her being underrated.
Ashley has a lot of advantages here. Her weapon damage potential is surpassed only by Garrus, and she shares access to sniper rifles with him.
Ash's Inferno grenade is a better incinerate, and with disruptor ammo, she can do damage to shields and barriers.
She also has concussive shot, letting her help out with causing detonations. And we shouldn't sleep on marksman here either.
Isn't marksman kind of useless? The squad-mate AI doesn't go for headshots, and you can't boost their weapon accuracy like you can with Shepard.
Yeah, that's why you picked the firing rate evolution.
Donald is right. A properly leveled marksman makes Ashley great using guns that have a high magazine like the Typhoon or Revenant. Though funny enough, this ability was kind of useless in the original trilogy. Ash would get stuck using it endlessly. Thankfully, it's been addressed in the Legendary Edition.
I won't tolerate Ash being underrated this time. Put her in S tier.
Now you're bugging. She's good, but she's not Garrus.
Donald, I'll compromise with you and put Ashley into A tier. She can't hope to compare to Garrus. Not only does he have better damage, but he has better powers too. Namely, he has overload. Her only real utility for the squad is her class passive, which boosts weapon damage. Still though, Ash is a powerful squad mate in 3.
Fine, I'll accept this as long as Kaidan doesn't go above her again.
Well, this should be good.
Let's just have a look at Kaidan, shall we? Oh look, he is Reeve and overload.
And that ends the discussion. Put him in S tier.
Oh my fucking god, bro, they just love to give this guy everything.
Just like in Mass Effect 1, Kaidan is simply the most versatile squad mate. He can slot into any squad you run. His class passive squad bonus can also either increase tech and biotic power damage by 10% or increase shield recharge speed by 15%.
Kaidan is close to rivaling James in durability thanks to barrier and the damage protection buff he gets from Reeve. By the way, I can't believe bro is Reeve.
No one really understands how he was able to learn an advanced Asari technique with an outdated biotic amp, but whatever. Kaidan's Cryoblast also helps him soften up armor and provides some crowd control to enemies that are unprotected.
So let me get this straight. Alenko is almost as tanky as James. He has the most versatile set of powers that allow him to detonate more combos than anyone else. He has access to assault rifles so he can keep up in damage, and to top that all off, he has armor weakening and crowd control.
That's the long and short of it, yes.
What's your point, Donald?
People often say the writers of Mass Effect 3 favor Liara, but I think Kaidan is the one they like the most.
Well, not the writers, but definitely whoever was in charge of designing the gameplay. Anyway, Kaidan joins Garrus in S tier like Joe said, and we're on to Tali.
One good thing about Tali is she's not just an anti-synthetic tool anymore and is viable against organic enemies.
Energy drain is good on shields and barriers, making Tali good to use on biotic enemies like Banshees.
The buff to energy drain is serious business. AI hacking has been replaced with sabotage, which is basically the same thing, but it has usage on more than just synthetics.
Sabotage has a backfire effect that does damage to all organic enemies, and this damage is increased by 1.5 if used on organic enemies who have shield health. It can also be used to prime tech explosions, and it will stun organic enemies that are unprotected.
And of course, Sabotage is still good at hacking synthetic enemies, but the most important thing is it turns those goddamn Cerberus turrets back on the Cerberus engineers so you can watch them get a taste of their own medicine.
An extremely satisfactory interaction.
Lastly, and this is pretty big, the tech vulnerability evolution will increase all tech power damage done to a target by 100%, perfect for following up with a tech explosion. Moving on from that though, Tali has become even more of a summoner in Mass Effect 3 thanks to the addition of her defense drone, which shocks anything that gets into its firing range.
The defense drone can chain lightning attacks, but it should be noted that it does not prime or detonate combos. It's just an additional option. Now that combat drone, that guy is the real deal.
The combat drone, while slower moving than it was in 2, no longer has a duration and will remain on the field until it's destroyed, replaced, or when combat ends. It can get a shock attack that can chain to targets or get a long-range rocket attack.
The real magic of Tali is that she adds extra allies to your squad. One from Sabotage if you hack a synthetic, her combat drone, and the defense drone, which can give you the edge in a fight, and it messes with the enemy AI when there's too many enemies on the field. This obviously goes kind of crazy if you're an engineer yourself.
Tali was far too niche in Mass Effect 2 since all she was really good for was killing the bots, which is normally plenty good enough for me, but you need versatility to make it high on these lists. With all under consideration, I think Tali should go into B tier.
Consider it done. Next on the list is David Anderson.
Anderson is a squad mate?
You do technically get to play alongside him during the prologue.
We'll judge Anderson and the rest of these squad mates as if they were usable during the main game since they all actually have fully built kits. Anderson isn't anything special. He has concussive shot, frag grenade, fortification, and incendiary ammo. He seems like a really standard soldier class. Having said that, he doesn't actually have any grenade to use, so the power is useless, and the only gun he gets is a heavy pistol.
They did him dirty.
I'll be fair here and say Anderson would also likely get access to assault rifles, since his class passive will boost his assault rifle damage by 60%, which is pretty crazy.
Even if we did Anderson the courtesy of giving him grenades and an assault rifle, he still wouldn't be particularly good. He comes off as a worse version of Ashley and James.
They obviously didn't give much thought to Anderson's kit, considering he's only with us for the Prologue Earth mission, which is a tutorial. Still, it's not the worst kit ever, so we can put him into C tier. However, he'd be immediately obsolete once you have James and Garrus, and Javik to pick from in the early game of 3.
At least Anderson managed to place reasonably high for a guy who was with us for under 30 minutes.
In the Omega DLC, we have 2 new squad mates. The first one is our old friend Aria.
Let's boil this down to one word. Lash.
Lash is exactly the kind of power I'd expect my goat Aria to bring to the table.
Lash is just good fun. Especially because it works on enemies with shields or barriers. Aria can just whip people around.
She comes with Flare, which is basically a throwable biotic nuke with how powerful it is and how wide a radius it covers. It can also trigger biotic explosions, though it does have a pretty long cooldown.
And unlike other biotic squad mates, Aria is more durable thanks to her higher than average health and barrier, her access to Reeve, and her class passive that will boost her health and shields. At rank 6, Aria's squad durability passive will increase the entire squad's health and shields by 20%.
And Mama uses shotguns alongside having access to Carnage. She can take a hit and dish it back with interest.
Shouldn't be a surprise they made a DLC character so good. Aria would probably be stupid in the base game.
Aria has no way of dealing with shields directly, but considering Lash ignores them, that doesn't really matter. Aria is going into a tier.
Now what about her ex?
Nyreen isn't too bad herself. She's got Incinerate and Overload, which lets her deal with any kind of enemy protections, and her Lift Grenade can disable large groups of foes.
Nyreen's class passive focuses mainly on boosting the power of her tech and biotics, making her more hard-hitting than Aria is.
Too bad she's squishy. I swear she dies all the damn time.
That can be circumvented with Biotic Protector, a shield that protects against all damage.
It's insane that the first and only time we see a squad mate use a biotic bubble in gameplay is when a Turian does it, and not an Asari.
The bubble is good, but she can't move, shoot, or use powers while it's active.
Sure, but the blast evolution will trigger a biotic blast when the shield is deployed, making it a good emergency lifeline.
There are also evolutions that will boost weapon damage or increase damage reduction.
Well, Aria's dead ex-girlfriend would be rated pretty high if she were in the base game, definitely higher than Edie.
Agreed, Nyreen is missing that extra oomph to get her into S tier, but she can join Aria in A tier.
The Citadel DLC companions are here.
Big dog Uncle Urdnot Rex is back, baby. Let's go.
I can't even lie, Rex goes kind of crazy in the DLC.
Rex is easily the most durable character in the game. He has a stupid high health pool, which is made even more insane by having the barrier ability and his stimulant packs, which provide a max shield bonus and weapon damage bonus. And as you might expect, Rex's class passive adds a ton of health and shield to him, and his squad bonus will share that with the squad. Or you can turn Rex into an even bigger monster with the fortification evolution.
The cool thing about Rex is that he just says "F*** you" to taking cover and runs around beating the hell out of enemies with melee attacks.
It is fun watching him dash around the battlefield headbutting everything.
Rex is an immortal demon. If his melee attacks don't do the trick, he's got access to shotguns as usual and can drop a Carnage blast or use his lift grenades to create combos.
Well, he's immortal so long as the Atlas mech doesn't grab him. I remember what happened during the Citadel DLC.
That doesn't count, Barack. Put Rex in S tier right now to make up for putting him below Kaidan in Mass Effect 1.
I don't think we should fight him on this one.
I wasn't planning on it. Now, Mass Effect 2 squad mates make a return in Armax Arena. We'll be taking a look at them here as well. Following Rex, we have our second Krogan Grunt.
You already know what I'm about to say.
Not so fast, Donald. Grunt isn't as good as Rex. For one thing, he's less durable.
Grunt has less than half the health Rex does, despite playing just as aggressively.
I guess we know who would really win a fight between the two of them if the stats are anything to go off of.
You're comparing a war veteran to a kid who spawned like 2 years ago.
You know what? Looking at the abilities, Grunt has the same kit as Anderson, but with access to assault rifles and shotguns.
Damn, you weren't kidding. Fortification, frag grenade, incendiary ammo, and concussive shot. I guess we're not the only ones Grunt decided to learn from.
We put Anderson in C tier for that. I can tell you Grunt isn't getting S.
Now hold on a second.
Grunt is spared from C tier thanks to his resilience and the aggressive play style his AI has. But he's hopelessly inferior to Rex and is only about as good as James. So with that said, Grunt will go into B tier.
Acceptable decision. Joe's crazy girl is next, and she's still ass.
Donald, we were nice about Grunt. It's your turn to be nice about Jack.
Jack is actually a fair bit better here. She still has shockwave, pull, and warp ammo, but BioWare threw her a bone by giving her the warp power, which really brings the kit together. Now Jack can prime and detonate power combos.
And in her class, passive Jack can boost her power recharge speed by 60%, so her powers are available often just like Liara.
Too bad she's still softer than a sponge. Seriously, why does she have a shotgun without any means of reinforcing herself?
Well, this time I think Jack's glass cannon build actually works. Warp is a serious game changer since she can blow up people who are under the effect of pull or shockwaves lifting evolution.
I definitely feel like Jack is at least as good as Javik.
I agree with that. Same level as Javik, Jack will go into B tier. We're back to Jacob Taylor. Here in Mass Effect 3, he was given Lift Grenade for extra utility.
Taylor has improved here, but I'm still unimpressed. He can only detonate power combos using Lift Grenade, which only works if the target doesn't have any health protections.
I'm again baffled at what niche Jacob is supposed to fill. Everything he does is fulfilled better by another squad mate. Need incendiary ammo? Grunt is right there. Javik is better than him and has Lift Grenade, and most of the other biotic specialists have better crowd control. And he doesn't even do that much damage.
His only way of doing bonus damage to barriers is with Lift Grenade. He can't do anything to shields, and only incendiary ammo does bonus damage to armor.
The only things Jacob is going for him are his access to barrier, making him a bit more durable, as well as his class passive.
Put Taylor in D tier. He's only useful if you've somehow gotten everyone else in the game killed.
So are we not going to fill F tier with anyone?
There are no genuinely useless squad mates in Mass Effect 3, even Jacob has his uses. So yeah, F tier is most likely going to go unfilled this time. Next we have Kasumi, who has unfortunately been nerfed by the removal of Flashbang Grenade and Shadow Strike.
They took my girl out back and blew her fucking knees off.
Decoy is fucking useless, but the Ninja Girl does bring in Overload, which is the second best power in the game.
Wait, what's better than Overload?
Do you really need to ask? It's Charge.
Oh, of course, how stupid of me to ask.
Kasumi may have lost Shadow Strike, but her unique tactical cloak is something of a replacement. She'll become invisible and get a huge damage bonus when she breaks the cloak to attack. So I suppose the idea is Kasumi cloaks, and then you have her use Overload to break cloak to deal massive damage to shields. Or have her shoot her gun using armor-piercing ammo to break armor.
So it's still an assassin build.
Yeah, but I don't know if all that setup is worth it when you can use other powerful squad mates to just blow a target up instantly.
Even you have to admit it, Joe. She's like a way worse version of Garrus.
I can't believe they did this to her.
Unfortunately, the loss of Flashbang Grenade and the difference between Tactical Cloak and Shadow Strike is going to move Kasumi down quite a bit. She's still spared from F tier or D tier due to having Overload and armor-piercing ammo. Kasumi will go into C tier.
Now Miranda? They did Miranda just right here.
They somehow managed to make Miranda even more busted than she was in 2. She retains Warp and Overload, giving her the ability to strip all types of health protections in the game.
Then they gave her Incinerate, because why not? Now she can do tech combos, fire combos, and biotic combos.
And of course, we can't forget that Miranda has fucking Reeve now, so she actually gets a bit of durability in her kit.
Nah, that's actually so fucking funny. Miranda had a third power in Mass Effect 2. It was Slam. They decided to give her 2 new powers just because.
Meanwhile, Jacob is over here having to make do with Lift Grenade.
If Miranda were in the base game, she'd be just as versatile as Kaidan.
Albeit less tanky and with less raw damage with firearms.
Still, with Miranda, you'd have non-stop combos. Every single one of her powers is both a primer and detonator.
If Miranda were in the main game, she'd be an obvious lock for S tier. So that's where she's going to go.
Salmami is back looking better than ever.
Samara maintains access to pull, throw, and reeve, but also gets access to warp.
You see, what the hell is Jacob even for?
To be fair, what is Jack for in that case? Samara does her job in crowd control better, and has 2 universal primer and detonators.
Alright, I get it, Jack sucks.
Samara, as you'd expect, is pretty good. She has no answer to shields, but her biotics clear most other enemies. And her access to assault rifles gives her better damage than most other biotic squad mates. Samara is going into a tier. The last squad mate is Zaeed.
Looks like the only thing added to his kit is Carnage for some additional burst and combo damage.
Inferno Grenade is still a good power, and with Concussive Shot he can set off combos.
Lastly is Disruptor Ammo, which again damages shields and barriers in Mass Effect 3. Zaeed's damage is nothing to sneeze at. He's perhaps a B-tier squad mate.
I agree with that.
He has all that damage and will die to some mercenaries if you don't get his loyalty in Mass Effect 2.
And that does it for Mass Effect 3, but we've still got 1 more game's worth of squad mates ahead of us.
You're making us do Andromeda.
We're tackling it at some point. I'd think you'd want a refresher on who works best in that game. We'll tack Andromeda onto the end of Mass Effect 3 here.
I'm not gonna lie, this might be the one time I slide out a video early.
Barry, just because you've decided to give Andromeda another shot doesn't mean Donald and I have.
Listen, Andromeda is still the worst game in the series, but I feel we should start talking about it more. Besides, it really isn't that bad.
Okay, fine, whatever.
The first on the list is Cora Harper, one of our biotic specialists on the squad.
Okay, I recall, miss, let me talk to your manager. Over here being boring is sin, but she has Charge and Nova in her kit, so she's got to be pretty based.
Bro will do anything to glaze the same 2 abilities.
Cora starts out pretty bad. As you might expect, an AI using two high-risk, high-reward talents tends to die a fair bit. However, Cora's survivability will improve markedly as you level her powers. For example, at rank 6 of Nova, she'll be able to become invincible for 3 seconds immediately after using the ability, and charge will reduce incoming damage for 5 seconds.
Wait, hold on, I need that.
Unfortunately for you, Donald, that only applies to Cora's unique charge, not Riders.
Well, that's lame.
One cool thing I remember is that Cora's Asari commando skill will give her shots consistent cryo ammo, thus priming them for detonations. You see what I did there? Cool thing?
Okay, wrap it up, Sleepy Joe. But on the topic of ammo, Cora's main weapon is a shotgun, which complements her charge playstyle.
Cora's defensive training also focuses on increasing her max shields and granting shield restoration. Lastly, her shield boost skill provides continuous shield generation, making her high risk and high reward fighting style much less of a risk. She's very good with some growing pains, so I'd rank her as the second best squad mate.
I'll take your word for that one.
Charge and Nova deserve first place, but given that it's in the hands of a boring squad mate, even by Andromeda standards, I'll let second place slide.
Now we have everyone's favorite, Liam Costa.
I definitely remember this guy not being well liked.
Saying not well liked is a very generous way of putting that.
Liam is another aggressive close-range combatant. He likes to run in and use Havoc Strike to stab enemies with his Omni Blades.
That's if he doesn't get completely fried trying to rush into battle.
I remember enough to know Liam is cheeks. He doesn't have the health to stay close up without falling over dead. At least Cora can restore her shields.
Also, isn't his gun like horrendous?
He uses the Charger, and yeah, it's not great. It's weak and inaccurate unless you're right in front of the enemy, which in Liam's case I guess works since he's so aggressive, but there are way better guns for that, like the M358 Talon.
Wait, hold on, are you not able to change the loadouts of your squad in Andromeda?
No, you can't. Whatever weapon the squad mates in Andromeda use is fixed.
Once again, that's lame.
Yeah, I definitely am not a fan of that. People say Andromeda has the best gameplay, but they sure as hell do remove a lot of options, like you can't use your squad mates' powers when you want.
Liam isn't all bad though. His frag grenade is a good damage option, and he has access to overload so he can target shields and synthetic enemies. To complement that, his military training skill can boost power damage and power force, and his defense skill can give him the ability to snowball with the momentum evolution where he'll gain a damage bonus per kill, or alternatively, he'll be able to restore his shields and health.
That's nice, but I'm not big on Liam.
We're going to put Liam toward the bottom, perhaps the 5th best squad mate in gameplay.
Who's worse than him?
You'll see in just a moment. Next on the list is Vetra, who I'm going to say right now is 6th on the list.
I can't believe you've done this to my tall Turian queen.
I don't know what to tell you, Joe. Vetra is so goddamn squishy, she spends more time being dead than anything else.
I'm starting to notice a pattern between Joe liking Jack and Vetra. Bro likes his women soft.
It's especially odd that Vetra has power armor as a skill and dies all the time anyway. It's like she zones out while shooting and then forgets she's dying.
It doesn't help that her gun, the Cyclone, has a warm-up period before she can fire it. I wish I could give her something else.
She does get concussive shot for crowd control and damage on either armor or shields.
Her other power is turbocharge. This is actually pretty decent as it increases firing rate. Her Turian smuggler skill will give her consistent disruptor ammo. This syncs up well with the other evolution of turbocharge that grants her more bonus damage against shields.
Vetra's defensive skill will also give her power armor some emergency power if she's near death. It sounds like she should have no problem keeping up in battle, but she doesn't.
I don't like using Vetra. Anyone else would be better. 6th place.
I feel like the problem is her gun. If we could stick something more powerful on her, she might be good.
It's like they saw the Godhood Garrus video and decided they can't let that happen again.
Moving on to PB, she's actually got a really good niche in the gameplay, being centered around crowd control thanks to her pull and shockwave talents.
So she's Jack, but an Asari.
PB's pull skill is interesting. One of its rank 6 evolutions will reinforce her barrier when an enemy is hit. PB also has invasion, a talent that debuffs enemy armor and weapon damage, giving you an easier time in the fight.
She can also boost a biotic rider with biotic synergy, which comes from her duelist skill. Lastly, her survivalist passive gives her the potential to be second to Drac in resilience.
Her Sidewinder pistol is also decent enough a firearm.
PB is actually pretty useful to have around, certainly better than Liam and Vetra. We'll put her in 4th.
What's that leave? The new alien guy and who else?
No shot you forgot about the only actually good companion in Andromeda, my boy Grandpa Drac. The actual goat, bro, can put the entire team on his back. He's durable as hell and just claps enemies at melee range by smacking them over and over.
I'm surprised, Donald, you actually know a thing or two.
I respect Krogan, it's as simple as that. Unlike Cora, Drac carries a real fucking gun in the form of the Ruzad.
Like we briefly alluded to before, Drac is the most durable squad mate, which yeah, he's a Krogan. His Krogan warrior skill focuses on boosting his shotgun's effectiveness, and it boosts his power damage. At rank 6, Drac's shotgun will always use incendiary ammo.
The boost to Drac's power damage is huge considering he has Incinerate and Flak Cannon. Incinerate is great for burning armor and priming fire combos, and Flat Cannon is for doing damage over a large area.
I recall him being the only squad mate I could count on when I briefly tried Andromeda.
Especially when paired with Cora for her shield boost.
Go ahead and put him in number 1 Barak.
Yep, and last but certainly not least is Jaal, who's naturally going in the 3rd spot.
Jaal is the sniper of the gang. He's equipped with the Lanat, a fairly good gun. It's complemented with his rebel soldier skill that boosts weapon damage and force.
Jaal's resilience skill has some neat tricks. At rank 6, if Jaal is hit by an enemy within 5 meters, he'll automatically retaliate with an electric burst that does bonus damage to shields and primes the target for a tech burst.
Alternatively, he'll be able to cloak himself when dropped below 20% his health.
The new guy has Energy Drain, which, as you know from the trilogy, is a power that restores shields. It also primes targets for combos. The cool thing is, at rank 6, it'll be able to restore the shields of nearby allies.
Lastly, Jaal carries Sticky Grenade, a good damage option. His Avenger Strike power lets Jaal cloak himself so he can get behind an enemy and deliver a powerful melee attack. This can prime targets for tech bursts at rank 6.
When he's not crying, he's pretty good.
All right, what did we learn on this journey?
We learned that I was right and Jack his ass.
Yeah, whatever, Donald.
With that settled, stay safe out there, drink plenty of water, get some sleep, and we'll see you on the next one.